Welcome to Beyond the Unexplained. My name is Janet Russell. I host this fascinating, intriguing, sometimes very unusual show. Tonight we have an awesome guest. We have Vic Picone, we have his wife, and we have his charming little son here who's going to talk about his championship with his baseball. And of course, I'm so sorry. Got my co-host Annemarie down, and I'm so sorry. Anyway, before we get started and before we get to our fabulous guest who just did a movie that has a lot of lifelike events, I guess, that it's going to be a winner. It's going to be, I'm doing my prediction. It's going to be a TV series because this is amazing when you hear the story. It's going to help a lot of people too. But before we get there, you know I have to tell everybody where I will be. Okay, Friday, August 8th, I'm actually going into Manhattan. Yay, party time. I'm going to go see The Basket Weaver at Peter J. Sharp Theater featuring Debbie Twist and James McCaffrey. And the reason I mention that is because when I do my live show next Wednesday called When Spirits Connect, we're going to have Deb Twist and James McCaffrey as guests and maybe some surprises. Because we did the movie A Cry From Within, Sebastian. And of course, when I connect with spirits, that's what the other show's about. Okay. Monday, August 11th, between 6 and 9 p.m., I will be at the World Gym, 15 Hawkins Avenue, Ronkonkoma. I will be doing private readings there. You would call me to set up the appointments. Wednesday, the 13th of August, we'll be doing live in Riverhead, When Spirits Connect, again with Debbie Twist, James McCaffrey. And you can also watch this show 4 o'clock next week. So we're on 4 o'clock in Riverhead every Wednesday, Beyond the Unexplained, and then we're on at 5 o'clock When Spirits Connect. So we have 2 shows back to back, which I'm really excited about that. Wednesday, August 20th, between 5 and 8 p.m., I will be doing private sessions. We're going to have Psychic Night at McGovern's Irish Pub in Oakdale. The 21st, August 21st, I was just asked actually today to, there's going to be a fundraiser at Nickel Boutique, 1139-7A Jericho Turnpike, Comac, and I will be there between 6 and 9 p.m. doing readings. With that, you need to call Nick, I guess it's Nikki, I think that's her first name, and you can give her a call at 631-807-5919. The event is Thursday, August 21st, so you've got plenty of time to call her. Saturday, August 23rd, I will be at the Bayard Cutting Arboretum, and it's going to be summertime with Long Island authors and artists. I was asked to if I would come and do an event there, which I will. It's going to benefit EAC, which is I guess reaching people in need, food pantry, and it says join Long Island's authors and artists in the summer sun at Bayard Cutting Arboretum, an afternoon of book signings, painting, instructions, raffles, and more. It's August 23rd. It's between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. And you can contact them at 516-380-7904 or 516-798-0341. I will be doing readings there. And let me see what else I have. I think I'm almost done. Yes, and again, Monday, August 25th, I will be doing a group event at the World Gym, 15 Hawkins Road, Ronkonkoma, from 6 to 9. That's where I literally connect with those on the other side. When I do my private sessions, those are just individual, but when I do the group, prior to me even getting there, I have the names of those on the other side that want to connect, or the names of those people that are there, and I never know who's going to show up, but they know who's going to show up, okay? For all of you Nassau County people, Saturday, August 30th, from noon to 4 p.m., I will be at the Edge Hair Salon, Roosevelt Field, Garden City, and you need to call there to reserve for your private session, 516-747-0606. And the most exciting news, of course, is my new website, JanetRussellPresents.com, where it's awesome. You can actually see these shows now on there. So you may see it here, but then if you want to keep repeating, you can see it. And we have a lovely guest here. She's not on the camera, but we have Helene Schulman. Is that how I say your name? And you did a lot of the stills and photography in Across the Bear with Vic. And his beautiful wife, Judy, was in it, and his lovely son, Christian, was in it. So, Vic, I saw the movie. Amazing, amazing, amazing. It goes from happiness to anger to tears to every, how do I say it, every emotion there.
Right.
Okay? It's based on some of your true events.
Correct.
Your true life events.
Yes.
Okay? Why don't you tell the audience how this whole situation came about? I'm giving you a free run. It's your life story. No one can tell it better than you.
Right.
Okay, so why don't you tell the audience, and then we'll ask you questions afterwards.
Well, basically, the director, the writer, my friend Peter Bongiorno, approached me 2 years ago with a script. Now, I have met Peter back in 1999, and through some unfortunate circumstance. And to make that story really short, he came to me with a script, and he asked me to read it. And we had been close throughout the last 14 years, but nothing, nothing crazy.
Right.
So I was a little surprised that he would want me to read it. He is a criminal attorney,
Okay.
but he does some acting. He wanted to get into directing and writing and things of that nature. So I read it, and to my surprise that I looked at it and I was like, how did you remember this stuff? Peter represented me in '99, so he knew a lot of my story.
Okay.
So he put it on paper and obviously put a plot and put it, some facts to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what blew me away the most. The fact that this guy who I held up to some amazing, he's just an amazing guy, would remember details of my life 14 years later and want to put it not just on paper, but in a movie. So I read it, and I think there was two things that he wanted to accomplish. Number one, for me to be a part of it somehow.
Very important, yeah.
But number two, at least if I wasn't ready, that I would sign off on the confidentiality between obviously a client and his attorney. And he asked me, do you want to be a part of it? And I said no. I literally said no to do it. I spoke to my wife and I spoke to my son, and we had just gotten very heavily involved in baseball.
I know, I love
So travel baseball, and we were in such a good place that when you're involved with children, obviously my story, some people may, get uncomfortable, and so we didn't want to take that chance. So I told Peter, do what you got to do, and leave my name out of it, leave me out of it, and I wish you the best of luck. My other question to him was, why me? What made you do this? And he goes to me, he goes, Vic, for 14 years, you've done nothing but change my life and influence my life.
How beautiful that is.
Now here's a guy, who does some speaking.
Yes.
As a criminal attorney, he sees people from all walks of life, and he literally represents and prosecutes. You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Just he's seen it all.
Yes, totally. He's a great actor as well.
Yes, great director.
Very fantastic.
But I think what was amazing to it, where when he came to me about it, was the fact that he goes, people listen to me speak, and I tell stories as a third-party person.
Okay.
He goes, as much as I may inspire, he goes, they don't want someone like me. I've had the white picket fence. I go to law school. I got great parents. I got a great family. I live a great life. He goes, but someone like you, that's who people want to hear. That's who people want to relate to. And he goes, that's what you've done for me. He goes, when I met you and we got to know each other over that year, and he got to know Judy and my other children, he goes, you have no idea how much you touched me. And I was blown away by that.
But
that
it's
a man
true.
like that, and again, that's what was my thinking at the time. A
Yeah.
man like that, I'm an influence to you. So, to continue with the story, they went to film on January 6, 2013.
And the name of the movie is
My Cross to Bear.
Bear.
Yes, and
Amazing.
you can literally see the preview at mycrosstobearmovie.com. It is an amazing movie. It was so professionally well done.
Fabulous.
Again, not just about the topic or the subject matter, but the way it was done with the budget that it was done with. It was just simply an amazing, amazing film.
I mean, I could see that movie being an Academy Award winner.
Wow.
I really could, because it's got
Do you know something I don't know?
a little gift. I see it. Like I said to you earlier, I see that being a TV series. But you know what? The main thing that I truly feel is you're going to be helping so many people with this movie through your own pain. And you know, you hate to say your own pain,
Right.
but not every event in there you lived, but a lot of it you did live,
Right.
you know? Certain parts were added, you know, to make it a little bit
Sure.
more significant, which that's been done. But I saw the movie, and I think half the audience cried, because
Right.
it was so intense. We literally lived your life with the movie.
Right.
You know, I mean, there's domestic violence, there's some sexual abuse, there's happy days, there's sad days. You know, it's basically, it's going to help so many people. I truly feel that. I truly feel
Yes.
it. I just want, before I forget, how did you pick the name, My Cross
You know,
to
it was
Bear?
funny because you and I have talked about it often, about my life, and I always talked about my cross. Always. I didn't name the movie. No, Peter did.
Okay, yeah, because
But it was
so
amazing
apropos.
how I, being somewhat spiritual,
Oh, yes.
always
more than
relate-
someone.
always relate to Jesus on the cross, always related to, you know,
Right.
like Good Friday, and always the cross. And again, over the 30, 40 years that I've been going through what I went through, the only really thing I ever had to look at was the cross. And there's
Right.
in the church that we go to, you know, there's a stained glass window, and it's, you know, of Jesus with his arms out.
Right, exactly,
And
yeah.
certainly I'm always enamored by the cross itself. And when Peter shows me the script, and I see the title of it, I just was like, wow.
It
my
was
cross.
it
Just kind of fell. It fell
yeah.
into place. And when they went to film that January, I had just gotten back from a trip in Phoenix,
Okay.
and I knew they started filming on Sunday. Again, I didn't think much of it. I've never been a part of a movie. I've never seen cameras. I'm not part. That's not my world.
Right.
And I literally land, I come home, that's it. I go to work the next day. Like Monday, just go to work, I do my thing. 5 o'clock comes, and I'm like, all right, you know what? They are filming down the block. Like a couple of towns over, Massapequa. And I'm like, let me just drive by. Let me just see. So I get in my car and I drive by. And I park outside, and my God, there's trucks and there's
Oh,
lights.
yeah,
and
everything.
Like, almost,
Lights,
this is like a
camera,
real
action.
movie.
Yeah, a real
I've never
movie.
been on the set of a real movie. So now I walk in, and they're filming. So there's a couple of guys who stop me, and I said, I know Peter. And I go in, and I stand in the back. And the scene that they're filming was when the deacon, my abuser, is getting into bed with
Okay.
me as a child.
Okay.
And I'm standing there, and I was actually okay with it. But I'm standing there, and I'm listening to other people, the sniffles, the tears.
Oh God,
And
emotional.
I mean, these are
Yeah.
grown men doing cameras and lighting and gaffs, all that stuff. And then the women. You see it, you feel it was very, very,
Very emotional.
very emotional. So they cut, lights go on, and I just look at everybody. And I swear something came over me. Like, these people are almost suffering with me.
Totally, that movie. You do.
And Peter turns around, he sees me there. And first thing he comes up to me goes, "Are you okay?" And I go, I'm fine. But, go ahead.
Could you just shut that door if you don't mind, Helen? Because we're hearing the
Of course.
people out there.
So-
I'm sorry, we don't want to.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
No, so
They may
Peter.
not hear, but we hear.
Yeah, so Peter, Peter asked me if I'm okay. I said, I'm fine, Peter. And I said, but Peter, I'm amazed by all of this. And I look at him and I go, Peter, I have to be a part of this. I have to. It's there's a connection somewhere here.
Okay, let me ask you: is they did the movie and you relived certain parts? Did that bring back the pain?
I relived a lot of it.
Yeah,
It did.
I mean, it had to bring back the pain of what.
Well, you know, the funny part about me is I'm one of those guys that just hide the pain. So I to this day only remember one time that I cried and I got angry and I was bitter and I was mad.
Well,
And it was
sure.
the first time we saw the movie. Remember, it was in Rhode Island at the Rhode Island Film Festival.
Okay.
And I had gotten to see it for the second time. I saw it at the premiere where all of us were
Right,
allowed to
right.
invite a family friend.
Right.
That was emotional, but it wasn't. I didn't let it. Okay, I saw it. I felt some pain, but
Sure.
oh my God, kind of a thing, and I was fine. But we were in Rhode Island, and I had been drinking, and we see the movie.
That'll do it.
And I see the movie, and remember, and I'm sitting in the back,
Yes.
and I lost it.
Good. Well, you needed
2 minutes
but
of
you
it.
Yeah,
needed,
he needed to release.
And I
release.
just cried like I just was angry, and I was angry.
Well, that was,
and that was the flushing.
that was a cleansing.
That was
You
it.
needed
And that's the one
that.
time, to be honest
was
with
it,
you.
yeah.
All these years, the way I've always believed that I've gotten myself through it is you deal with it. It is what it is. I can't change it. You
No.
fight it. All I ever dreamed of was being happy. And people would ask me, what do you want in your life? I just said, peace of mind. I just want peace of mind.
Yeah.
I want to be happy. And I guess that's what was driving me throughout all these years to, somehow get through a lot of the pain, a
Pain.
lot of the trauma, a lot of the abuse.
And about how many years
Well,
was this,
I was, certainly, my family life, my
Right.
my father was unemployed for many years.
Okay.
My parents unfortunately did drink a lot.
Okay.
My mother did stop eventually, but there was some drugs in the
Okay.
house and stuff like that. But the verbal and the physical abuse when I was a kid. So I would say 9, 10, 11,
You were very
around
impressionable
12.
at that age, yeah.
And then the sexual abuse from the deacon in my church was actually first my school teacher. So he was my 7th grade teacher.
Yeah.
And the abuse started when I was in 8th grade. So I was his 7th grade student, but he taught, I guess, science or whatever he did. You know how they change grades.
Yeah.
And that's when it all started. So I was in 8th grade, and it continued throughout high school and
Wow.
3 years in college. So
That was a rough time.
7 years or so.
Wow, that was a hard time for you to
Yes,
deal.
yeah.
You know what impressed me when I looked and I mean I this morning I went through the whole just to remember what I did. What kind of really bothered me was when you were put in the tub.
Yes.
Oh, that just so went through me. How old were you when that happened?
I was 10, and I remember it like it was yesterday. I was a 10-year-old, 60-pound soaking wet kid.
And what brought that?
I was upstairs, and I was literally getting ready to take a bath.
Okay.
All right, and then I was doing chin-ups
Okay.
on the rod, the
Okay.
curtain rod,
Right. Okay.
and I was able to do it,
Yeah.
and I did it all the time. Well, this time it broke. It snapped.
Okay.
It bent. It was
To be expected.
yeah, whatever. It bent,
Yeah.
and I fell to the ground. I was fine, but it made a noise. And every time there would be a loud noise in my house, my father would be screaming, "What's going on? What's going on?" So
yeah.
I fell to the ground. I put it back up quickly, and I'm taking a bath. With that, my mother, I hear footsteps coming, praying to God. It wasn't my father. It was my mother.
Mm-hmm.
She opens the door. She goes, "What happened? You okay?" And I go, "I'm fine, Mom. I was doing pull-ups, and it just bent a little bit. I'm fine. Please don't tell Daddy."
Right. Yeah.
So she goes, "Okay." So I leave, and she leaves, and she goes downstairs, and 10 minutes later, you hear the footsteps, and he throws open the door, and he starts screaming at
That
me.
had to be such a fear for you.
Oh my
as a
God!
child.
Like I said, I feel it now. I remember him coming up, throwing that door open, and I'm laying there in the tub, and starts to smack me. "What did I tell you? Why are you always like this?" And then took my head. Now in the movie, we show it as his hand.
He was trying to.
It
Yeah,
wasn't
Yeah.
it wasn't the hand. He had taken my head, put it under, and he put his foot on my neck.
Oh my God.
And he held it. He stepped on it for maybe 3 to 5 seconds, which feels like an eternity.
course.
But we couldn't film that
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it was
yeah.
easier. You got the effect of it. I mean, that was a true event.
When I saw that so emotionally upset me. here you're a young kid, and this,
I mean, I look at my own son. I have my own children, and
Right. You would never, no.
it's infallible to even think like
Yeah.
that today.
Yeah.
Could imagine doing that to a child.
But I mean, alcohol sometimes plays a big factor in that.
Of course.
People think differently. I mean, we've all been drunk. We've all, had, certain experiences.
But it wasn't. It was constant. My father was a very, very, very verbal abuser. Very verbal. You were afraid of him. You didn't talk back to him.
Yeah.
You listened to him, whether you liked it or not. And
Now, was he that way with your brothers too?
yeah,
Your sisters?
I mean,
everybody.
Yeah, not so much my sisters, because I mean, our lives are very separate. Meaning, my mother, my father, my three sisters, my older sisters, they lived another side of town. Life was good. My father worked. Everybody was happy.
Okay.
Then stuff happened.
Right.
We moved. They had another kid, my older brother.
Okay.
And then I came along, and then my brother came along, and none of this was planned. And it created tremendous stress.
Sure.
My father loses his job, and it just started to spiral downward. And the drinking got worse and worse and worse. Became an alcoholic, and my mother used to drink just to combat him.
Right.
And and again, I remember stories of walking in, and my there's the scotch that my mother used to drink, and my father has his beer, his 6-pack sitting on top of the washing machine that he used to lean against in the house. And I guess it just all revolved around, that's all he knew.
Yeah.
My mother did try to protect us, but she was a victim herself.
Right, exactly.
So I think about what she did in the tub, all I asked her was not to tell. And today I understand that. She went downstairs, he yelled at her, he told her, what happened,
She probably had a lot of fears
and
too.
she had fear. I mean, there's no doubt.
That happens so much even today's with domestic abuse, and things happen, and you hear so many men and women that are in that situation, But I really feel your story is going to open up a lot of these people to realize it's okay to, get this out of your system. There's help out there.
Oh, absolutely.
There's so much help.
I mean, it took
out
me,
there.
think about it, I'm 50 years old, and I really didn't truly fall in love with myself 3 years ago, 47.
Really?
I mean, that's a long...
And you have an awesome wife. I mean,
Yes,
she
I
stuck
do.
by you through thick and thin. How did that affect you, Judy?
Well, the day that I found out that he was abused was, I guess, 2 weeks into our relationship when we met.
Right.
And he told me I had to tell you something. And when he did, I just started to cry.
Of course.
Like, he was worried of my reaction. But my reaction was just I wanted to be that
Right.
person for him.
Exactly.
I wanted to help him.
And that's, I'll be honest, I mean, that at that time, going back now that we think, obviously, Judy was along the path. She was along the path.
Right.
For me to tell her wasn't a big deal, because I used to tell
You
a lot of
trusted
people.
her. I mean,
Well,
of course.
I used
wife.
to tell a lot of people that, and it's almost like using your story for sympathy, and how do I say it? You get over on people, and you gain attention, and you gain sympathy. Those are my addictions. Those are the things that I do,
Yeah.
And when you don't love yourself and you
Right.
think of yourself as garbage, and I did for 47 years.
But it wasn't your fault. You've got to
Oh
realize
no,
that
no,
as well.
I get
And
that
that's
now.
what I knew.
Yeah, yeah.
But she knew it before
yeah,
I did.
yeah.
But you do that and you blame yourself. And when you're a victim, that's all you know.
Because
Right.
you're basically taught it's your fault.
That's it.
Even though
Everything.
it's not your
Everything.
fault.
Right.
And that's where victims, and
Yeah.
victims hold on to it forever.
Oh,
Unless you
it's
kill
got to.
yourself and you get help and you
Totally.
really believe, like, sitting here now knowing I'm helping people, I do it
Oh, yes.
in my heart because it's what I want to do. It's not a story. It's not, I'm
real
not
life.
looking for attention. I don't care. I do it because it's what needs to be done.
Totally,
Because
I
for
agree.
somebody to wait till they're 47 to wake up, and there's a lot of wasted years. And I know there are a lot of people out there in a similar situation
Yeah,
that are
sure.
angry or in pain, that are in denial, and just the short amount of time that this movie's been out, people who have seen it, who have come up to me. I mean, people
Thanking you.
You saved my life.
Yes. Oh, I'm
I
sure.
mean, oh my God, save your life.
I'm
And
sure.
it gets easier to accept it now because the story is real. I am real. I'm I love life. I live life to its fullest.
And you have a beautiful family.
And I have survived.
Well, you are a survivor.
He's a survivor.
Totally.
I am
Yes.
blessed. I am blessed beyond
Well, we know that.
words.
And Annemarie, would you like to? Or you just
Keep going.
okay? Yeah, okay. She's listening.
She's taking it all
Yeah,
in.
yeah. Well,
You've heard a lot of this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You've heard it all.
Yeah, she has because we were together at the film
Yeah.
festival. And and since that you have grown so much. And I know your beautiful little son is here. Okay, and I want to talk a little bit about your
Well, my other
other
ventures,
venture.
I have, since I guess the movies come out, and firstly, I'm in the cell phone business, and I've done it for 25 years.
Okay.
So I work for the carriers. I went on my own. So I've owned my own business for 20
yeah.
years.
Yeah.
And I do well. Yeah, it's I sell phones.
It's a job.
I sell phones.
Exactly.
I do it at a much higher level. I do it with corporate accounts, and I have made some tremendous friends. And the beauty of doing what I do is I'm in a service business. So I take care of people. So in many respects, and this is how, when I put it all together, like, wow, is I've been taking care of people for 20 years. And in return, they take care of me. They pay me. They're loyal to me. And
course.
in my business, you make money doing that.
Of course.
But I was doing it for the attention. The amazing thing about technology today is every time I used to get an email, somebody needs me. Vic, I need you to do this. Vic, and you know what that made me feel like? Wow.
Yes.
Important.
It's important.
It took away all that pain of not being needed.
Right. But it
not
was
being,
artificial because of what I felt for myself. But
Right.
it was my rush.
Right.
And you get 200 emails a day, people needing
Oh,
you.
yeah.
You're and then you
wow.
respond
Yeah,
to it. And
exactly.
the pressure of that. And so it kind of, today's my business it's relatively easy. I have these loyal customers that,
That's fantastic.
certainly I do my job well. I represent them well. But I also got involved in other things. Baseball.
Yes.
And, I'm one of the managing partners of the Long Island Junior Ducks. So many of you on Long Island who you go to our ballpark and you watch our big boys, the Ducks.
Why don't you tell the audience where it is?
Oh, it's in Islip. Obviously, Long Island Ducks, it's a professional baseball team that belong in the Independent League. Every player has been affiliated and has played in Major League Baseball.
Right.
Maybe not at the, quote, the Yankee level, but in their farm systems.
Very nice.
So it's a organization that what we try to do as a baseball team is give these players a place to play with possibly the hope of making it back into the major leagues.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So, they're not paid well. It's the love of the game. It really is. You've got to love that game. And if you've never been out to a Ducks game, I suggest bring your family.
It's fun.
It's fun. It's inexpensive. It's, you got Quacker Jack out there.
I know,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's fun.
It's so much better, I believe, than like Yankee Stadium. Which you go to a game, you may not know any of the Duck players.
Exactly.
But you know what? You go to Yankee Stadium now, and probably the only person you know is Jeter, and that's going to be gone.
Right,
After
yes,
that,
yes.
other than spending $500 on tickets
Wow.
and travel
Yeah.
and
I know, they're very reasonable. A friend of mine just, I didn't get there, but last Friday night they did it was last Friday night.
Yeah.
They did a fundraiser there. I don't remember what, Friends of Freddie, I think it might have been, or something. I'm not even sure. Yeah,
that's possible.
But I had something else that I had to do, or I would have gone there that night.
It's a fun night
and,
for the family.
And I know,
it's-
and in fact, my director just was there 2 days ago with
Yeah.
his family. They had
Yep.
some sort
And
of
it's
thing there.
inexpensive.
Yeah.
It's fun. You can let the kids run around. You don't have to worry, and it is real baseball. And again, you don't have to worry about traffic coming home.
No,
or
it's
anything like
right.
that.
It's right in CI, right?
So my job, my responsibility is, and my company, what we do, my partners and I, is we run the travel baseball organization, and that's where
Love
my
it.
son comes in.
Yes.
I had done travel baseball 3 or 4 years ago with another organization. I left them, and this whole duck thing just kind of fell in my lap. And obviously, watching kids develop on a baseball field is, in my opinion, preparation for life.
Oh, totally.
Baseball is not just a game. It is, and it's fun, and you should, but it is also, at
Give and
9,
take,
10,
too.
11,
Yeah,
12,
yeah,
13,
yeah.
you are preparing for life.
Oh, totally,
And
totally.
you are teaching them discipline, and you are teaching them desire, and working hard, and practicing. and going to get what you want. You want to play second base? I'm not handing it to you.
No, you
got to
gotta work
practice,
it.
you got to earn.
Earn it.
And it's just like you want that job when you're 20 years old, you want it, well, you better go get it because there's 50 others that want it more than you do. And who's going to be the better candidate? You got to want it. And you can teach that at 8, 9,
Yeah.
10,
My
11.
my boys were. My husband was a very big baseball player. He actually was all-star or something. I don't know. He actually played against Carl Yastrzemski. That
Really?
was long before you were even born.
I remember Carl. I remember, yes. Boston, come on, I remember.
Right. But it's dedication. And Christian, okay, what part do you play in that? Do you have the mic so you can let him use that? Okay. What part do you
Yeah.
play in
In the movie.
Not only in the movie, but playing ball too.
Movie.
Well, wait,
Wait.
if your mom gives you the,
Because I'm stuck here.
can you get it? Okay, you'll just have to talk a little louder then.
You're gonna have to come to mommy.
Got it? Okay, hang on, Mom, I'll get it.
Well, let me
Yes,
preference
come on. Yeah.
what we did was, what I do with the, we have 18 teams now.
Wow.
And we have kids from ages 8 up to 18. So we have kids at all various levels. I brought CJ and our team into the organization from my old organization when I became a partner.
Okay.